Facilities and Technology Committee meeting on Wednesday, December 10th at 5:30 PM. And we'll do roll call. We have our three board members, myself, Jeff, and Patrick for a quorum. Armand, Mr. Kisco, Donna, Mr. Pergola was here.
He ran for it.
Maybe he's doing some foul shots. Yeah. Rachel and Mr. Wilson. So first, I'd like to hear a motion for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nobody opposed, motion passes. Next, I'll see a motion for approval of the minutes. Josh, are you tweaking something over there? This seems to be working like better now. Is that you? Really? Wow. I'm sorry. I'd like to hear a motion for approval of the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Josh will ask, is there anybody on the line for public participation? No one for public participation, and there's no one in the audience, so we'll forego number 5. And we'll jump right into discussion and next steps. We're going to start with facilities, Mr. Pergola, and the TIS Siemens BMS contract presentation. So I'm assuming we have Mr. Siemens on the line.
Yes, how do we know if Brenton is there?
No. Nobody's joined yet?
No one there? Dean, can you ping him on your cell or something, and we'll move on to number 2 while we wait?
Okay.
Is that okay? Is everybody okay with that? All right. So we'll move on to number 2. We'll postpone number 1. TMS roof update. Donna or Dean, you can take this.
I guess I'm on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we received the bids. Tonight, we're just recommending the rejection of the bids. They mostly came in a little higher than we had expected, and the anticipated cost for the project sort of outweighs what we've had appropriated locally. So that is going to be the recommendation of the committee, and we have Mark Loranger, who has joined us actually, who can answer any questions. We did receive a new estimate. So the original estimate was around 5.2 million, and the new estimate is more like 6.6 million. The wheels of bureaucracy go slow, so it's been a long process, not to anyone's fault. We've just been working with the state and working with a lot of red tape to really get us to the starting line, and it seems that we might want to put a pin in this and sort of investigate this new estimate and potentially getting the state grant to be increased. That's basically the update I had, and if anyone has any questions, Mark is on standby from Gale Associates. Hi, Mark.
Hello, everyone.
Does anybody have any questions? None, I believe.
I have one.
Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Just looking at the engineering estimate, it's dated from about 2 years ago. So is that, and that said 6.6 million. So is that the current cost 6.6, or is that the 11/20/2023 engineering cost?
You're looking at the estimate. It says date prepared 11/20/2023.
Yeah, it says updated. I see that a little bit further
With
down. I
the
didn't catch it when I
update,
looked at it earlier.
12/03, correct?
Yep, that was my fault. I didn't see that earlier.
So yeah, that is our current estimate considering today's market and the bids that we've received for this project.
And this
Correct.
this engineering document was the larger installation amount or the base installation? There were options back in that original packet for how much insulation and R value we were going to add to the roof. Which one did we finally settle on based on state funding, et cetera?
So the alternate for supplemental insulation is built into the estimate that you're looking at, the 6.6 million. And that was updated, created using the widespread values we received as part of this bid. And that was and I'm looking at that right now, the wide range of bids we received for alteration 1 to lay in that supplemental insulation above the existing metal panel, below the new metal panel, ranged from 265,000 to 619,000, which is a very wide spread for a finite scope of work. So we took those numbers, and let me see what we increased that to. Just got to scroll through here real quick.
I didn't see it in here when I looked.
We increased that. That is the average bid value from this recent bid. Average bid value of 423,700 before general conditions and whatnot.
Okay,
So
so
that
some of
was
this increase is actually just due to us baking in an ad alternate into the base bid to some extent, which is fine, just it helps explain it. Thank you.
That absolutely increased the overall estimate. Absolutely, yes. I don't have the older estimate open to tell you what I carried previously, but I'm going to say it was half of that. So it's plus 200,000 right there, plus general conditions. Yep,
Thank you.
So the ad alternate is in this estimate?
It is in this estimate.
that is correct.
And which line item is it baked into?
That is line, it would be on the backup sheet. I don't know if you have that in front of you, but that's line 154, alternate number 1.
Oh, there it is. Oh, it's in gray on sheet 2. Okay,
Yes, yep.
okay. Are there any other questions? None. So just for clarity, our first step is where we take this estimate and we go to the city. Is we need approval from the city council first, is that correct? Just so everybody understands the process, just not go get a new grant and we put it out the bid and pray for the best. We need approval from the city council first to spend an estimated, at the most, not to exceed, 6.7 million or whatever the estimate is. And we put it out the bid and hopefully come below that. Does everybody understand that, or any other questions? So we kind of, we have to go to city council first before we can go get a grant increase. All right? Everybody on the same page with that? Or if I'm
Yes.
incorrect, please let me know.
You're 100% correct. We need to have the local buy-in before we could go to the state and ask for more money.
So the city, state increase the grant, and then go out the bid.
Correct.
Those are our next 3 steps. And I guess we'll keep this on the agenda for next meeting, and hopefully we'll hear back from, do we have something scheduled with the city yet?
Yes,
Okay.
we're going next Tuesday.
Yeah, next Tuesday, we're going to give them an update. And then, if this gets moved to the full board and the full board agrees to reject the bids and to move forward with the new estimate, then we can go back and get a resolution.
I don't think we really need to move anything to the board to reject the bid.
Okay, and to accept the new
You need our
estimate.
approval, you need our approval to spend the money, you don't need our approval not to spend money.
Fantastic.
That's how I understand it. I could be incorrect if anybody wants to correct me. Yeah, but they're rejecting the bids basically because it's over budget. So we don't have to,
Great.
Over the original budget, not over this.
Right.
over the original, correct. Because it exceeded the amount that was approved by the city. So I don't think there's anything to pass on,
Great.
okay? Would
Okay.
you agree, Mr. Wilson?
I agree.
Okay,
Right.
fair enough. So nothing to pass on, and maybe next meeting, next Wednesday at our full board meeting, maybe you can update us what we hear from the city.
Sure.
All right.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Excellent. Is the Siemens gentleman,
No.
I believe we can cut the Gale guy loose, right? Anybody have any
Thank
other
you.
questions for Gale?
Thank you, Mark.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions?
Thanks, Mark.
Have a good
Is the
night, everybody.
Siemens gentleman on the line yet? He is? Okay, we'll back up to number 1, Siemens BMS contract.
Yes, Josh, is there?
Hey,
Right, oh, there you are. There you go.
good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, so this was in your packet, you'll see the updated proposal with some more information that you were looking for regarding our BMS system and an update of some software and also the some additional points and control we're going to have over the system. So Brent is here to answer any questions that particular questions that we have on this. Brent, would you like to give a little overview first, or?
Yeah, of course. As long as everyone has a copy of the proposal in front of them, I can give you just kind of a high level what we were thinking. Everybody has a copy of that?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so I think when we were talking last time, there was an ask, I think, from Jeff, I think was the gentleman that had mentioned maybe a more robust approach to service. It is something that we are seeing a lot of our customers, in a bunch of different vertical markets are moving towards trying to utilize the data that comes out of these BMS systems to make better service and preventative maintenance decisions. One of the things that we try and balance is functionality versus cost, especially in a school district and a single school. What I have proposed is kind of a middle ground approach to get some advanced analytics installed. In the intermediate school, there is a more robust approach that actually includes 24/7 monitoring. This proposal includes just one kind of snapshot in time report that will look at your air handling units, all of your terminal equipment, so your unit ventilators, your VAV boxes. It'll compare different data points against each other to try and find faults or deficiencies in the system. So, for example, this proposal, we would run this, maybe in the middle of heating season. It would look at things like the discharge air temperature of your unit ventilator compared to your damper and coil positions. It would flag something, for example, you have maybe a damper mostly closed, the heating valve wide open, and your discharge air temperature is not moving. It means you're not getting heat, through that piece of equipment, which could be an issue with the heating valve. It could be an issue with the discharge air temperature sensor. And that is flagged. And then we provide a kind of a summary report for both our technicians and your on-site staff to address that. We can work with you to rank, areas of highest need, whether it's cafeteria or kind of most used classrooms. As a part of that report, we also provide kind of an estimate of cost savings. So you'll have an idea of how much energy waste is associated with the deficiencies that we find. So basically, in this proposal, we're running that report. Let me double check. I think it was twice a year. Once in the heating season and once in the cooling season, just to make sure we capture as much different, as many different conditions as we can for the school. Obviously, like I said, this is kind of an intermediate step between full 24/7, 365, monitoring of the system. I didn't get a chance to write those costs up. We would have to take a look at some of the, deeper dive into the tech on site to make sure it's all compatible. But that's something that I can, dive into if there's interest there. But this is, as proposed, a really good step toward getting more information out of the system, using the reports that come out of the system to drive your service activity. So we're not just kind of going around each piece of equipment on a set schedule. We can actually determine which pieces, are experiencing issues, get those resolved, save you guys, energy, ideally head off hot and cold calls, fix stuff before it becomes a real problem for you. That's kind of my high level. Go ahead.
I have a question. So when these get flagged, because we had an incident actually yesterday, and we really didn't know there was an issue until we got notified by the teacher, and then we went up and we found what the problem was. But it was, 2 days into a cold snap that we found this particular issue. So when these get flagged, what is the procedure on that? Is it, how long before we're notified, other than, getting a report from the teacher that one of these valves are stuck open or a damper is closed or what have you?
So as proposed, we would only capture that info, semi-annually. So we wouldn't know on a 24/7 basis what's going on in each space. We would have to go to the full kind of monitoring-based commissioning approach, which is a really good approach. I just would like some more development time to get in touch with Eversource, do a really good cost study on it. There are some really good ways that we can put together kind of a 24/7 monitoring program for you guys. I just need a little bit more time to put together.
No, I'm kind of asking also, will we be flagged? Let's just say, we come in the morning and we do an overview of our program on the computer. The flags will be in-house. They just won't be on the report semi-annually, correct?
Yep. So your BMS will contain those, alarms, and they'll categorize that alarm based on the criticality that we have it set up as. But the report actually goes a step further, and things that aren't typically alarmed, and things that aren't typically noticed, even with a building engineer sitting there looking at the system, we're able to find in these reports.
So the annual or biannual is more of a efficiency, I guess, benefit, where we can see what hasn't been running to that optimal condition.
It's both. I think we look at it as an efficiency benefit, but also identifying any deficiencies has a kind of a operational benefit as well.
Okay.
If it's something that you guys would like to explore, I'm more than happy to do kind of a full deep dive into monitoring-based commissioning, talking about the benefits, talking about applicable utility programs. I could put together a proposal and come do it live for everyone. This right now is a good middle ground, the proposal as it is. A good middle ground to get more info and get a list of deficiencies together to give us some, actionable items to take care of when we are on site. It is a step in the right direction to start using BMS data to drive your service activity, which is, above and beyond what you guys are doing now.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions on this? Go ahead, Jeff.
Just a couple questions. One, the proposal was dated, it started on July 1st, 2025, and the proposal for the 3 years, that was before, so are we already doing this?
We are not. So one of the things, we had backdated it because we don't have a current contract with you guys. It wasn't renewed in July. So one of my questions was, as a result of this meeting, is there a way we can get kind of the base contract renewed and approved? Or if you guys want to move forward with this, I can future date it to January 1. However you guys want to see the dates. It's just when it comes out of our system, it goes back to the previous contract date.
Okay, my next question is, there are really 4 statuses in the BMS, right? You have operating normally, you're gonna have what you may or may not notice in a twice a year or semi-annual snapshot, depending on what the condition of the building is, temperature, what air is flowing. You're gonna have maybe out of, not optimal, but functioning. Then you're gonna have the set where, hey, there's something wrong and it's setting an alarm, which the BMS would show to Dean and his crew. And then you have, it's broken. Is that fairly accurate? So what this 2 times a year is actually going to give you is only maybe that second category, which is it's running, but maybe not optimally. Because if it was broken, not functioning, or way outside of tolerance, it would alert him in the BMS already. I assume that as a part of what the software we're running, we can see those types of alerts. They're set up to go to Dean's team already, even though you're not monitoring them.
Yep, exactly. And I think some of those deficiencies are, when they are very broken, it's high level equipment. It's very important. It's air handling units, fans critically failed, it's pumps critically failed, that kind of stuff. This report will do a global point report and compare and contrast what we expect the points to be. So I think it does. The system today captures all of your critical alarms. What this report does is kind of fills in the gap, like you were talking about, and finds the things that are not necessarily critically broken, but things that we can address during a preventative maintenance visit to improve efficiency and improve operational uptime, catch it before it does critically fail. And a step further is that 24/7 monitoring that we haven't proposed.
I know this will sound like a detailed in the weeds question, but when you pull the data twice a year, are you pulling the historical data that it's capturing every day? Are you taking literally a moment in time snapshot of what the system is doing? Because if you're looking at all 6 months worth of history that the BMS has got and it's logging all those variables, maybe there's some value in that. But if you're taking a moment in time snapshot, I mean, Dean's buildings are in various states of heating and cooling and fan running and temperatures throughout. You would only be capturing a small percentage of the variables at any given moment if you're only taking it once.
Yeah, so our air handling unit reports we set up, trending for all that stuff. So we are able to capture historical values for the terminal equipment stuff, all of your unit vents and VAV boxes. That is a kind of a true snapshot in time. And that's why we need the building to be currently operating. We take it during, a school day when everything's running to try and identify those issues.
Okay, Jeff, can I chime in?
Yeah, good.
Okay, so what you sent me today, which was the base, right? That's what we would, I guess we're comparing the base to this middle one that you just gave us, this bigger proposal that does this twice a year monitoring, correct?
Yes, yep.
Okay, just so you know, I just, again, timing, wasn't perfect on this, but I did receive the base that wasn't included last time. When we had this last meeting, if you remember, we asked for per hour and all of that going through. Well, he went ahead and he did the additional, and that's what you have in your packet for this advanced program. The base program I have here, which you don't have a copy of this, but this has got the numbers that are just the base program without the additional stuff.
So what comes in the base program, and does Siemens service our equipment to TIS currently whenever anything's broken? Do we use a local vendor? Like what's the comparison on that base bid, since I can't actually?
So,
Go ahead, Dean.
go ahead, Brett. No, you go ahead. You have you explain it.
Yep. So as far as, and I don't know how you guys break down when, as far as controls issues, we are in there quarterly, doing preventative maintenance tasks that include system backups. We're tuning control loops. We're looking at the building automation system network. We're running a report on that network, making sure everything's connected, talking properly. We're backing up that system. So in the event of a critical server failure, we're able to take those backups and get you guys back up and running to the last backed up state, kind of ASAP. So it's a pretty typical, quarterly visits, on site, addressing issues that we find in the system and that you guys bring to us. I think the only change in this proposal from what we did last year was software updates to the BMS platform. We weren't previously doing that. It was under a period of warranty after you guys completed that upgrade. Now it's something we want to make sure that we're keeping that system up to date. As far as breakdown of who's performing work in the building, anything related to the automation system, we're taking care of either on contract time or, anything additional is obviously on our discounted contract rates on T&M. So that kind of summarizes what we're doing with you guys today.
Dean, does the base bid include the discounted rate?
Yes. Yep.
How much was the base bid?
So the base annually is $12,168 for the first year. Second year is $11,686, and for the third year is $12,328. Again, that's with the start of July 1st to June 30th. To Siemens' credit, they have been coming out even without a contract and maintaining their systems. It's been part of the retro commission, so they've been doing some BM stuff, preventive maintenance stuff, I should say, up until last week, I believe. So there's a large difference here per year. What we're used to getting is the $12,000 job. We've been able to manage our buildings pretty well with this new retro commissioning stuff that we just approved and we have installed. I think we're still going to see, there's going to be more things that we're going to have to take a look at now with the retro commission in this building. There's more equipment in there now. There's more monitoring in there. But I don't think that really reflects I don't know, Brian, you gotta kind of clear up for me a little bit. how would we see the cost savings by going with this middle plan as opposed to the base plan? Where are we going to see the savings? Are we, or is it just going to be more of a control and understanding where our dollars are going?
Until we run one, I won't have an exact answer on savings. I think you guys on a, energy use per, energy use intensity is kind of our rule of thumb. So we look at how much you guys are using on a square foot basis. I think before the retro commissioning project, you were much higher on an EUI basis, which means you're using more than comparable facilities. I think we'll have a better understanding of how much that terminal equipment is driving that energy use intensity once we run a report. I don't have the answers for you now. Our other option is if I get, our service energy engineer into the facility, or really we can do it with just your current utility data. We can rerun that energy use intensity after the retro commissioning project to see where you're at. If you're kind of in line with the other schools, it may not be necessary. This may just be a pure operational play where you want to know when things are going wrong before you get a phone call. Otherwise, if everything looks good, it's working well, and the retro commissioning project, did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Okay.
With the higher,
I have a question. So this is really software, monitoring software, and downloads data and gets reports. What was included in the retro commissioning? How do we know how well the retro commissioning worked out unless we get a report?
So it's not continuous M&V. You'll get a M&V package from Resource Innovations at the culmination of that project. So this is kind of a continuation of that measurement and verification effort that Resource Innovations is going to do one time at the end of the project, which we're very quickly nearing. So you'll get this report.
When's the retro commissioning end?
We're in well, it's pretty close to ending right now, so I just got some paperwork that we have to file. I think you sent it to me today to get them out there to do a test. So you kind of got to go through a full heating and cooling season to get your end result, correct, Brent?
Yep. So you guys will
So a
make
lot of the work was not completed for a whole season yet?
No, yeah.
It started in August of '24, correct?
Right.
Now, part of that agreement, I believe we had a 30-year warranty on stuff, or not 30-year, 30 months warranty on the retro commissioning. So a lot of that equipment that they install should be warranted for 30 months.
Yep. And
From a
that's just
from a software perspective, none of this software is installed right now during the retro commissioning project.
So all of the software that you have for the BMS system wasn't changed. We just changed the way the equipment runs. And then this proposal includes basically an in-depth data analysis. So what we do with the data in the building. Your head-end software is how you interact with the system on a day-to-day basis.
So we can't get that data out of the software without signing up for this agreement. We can't get the data.
You can, but we don't run it through our analytics package. So we take that trended data, and you guys can look at it and analyze it yourselves today. It's available to you. We're just going a step further, having a PE, a professional, licensed engineer, energy engineer, run it through some of our analytics tools that are separate from a standard BMS installation, and put together a report that drives some of our service activity, shows savings, all that kind of stuff. So it's taking data that everyone has access to today and taking a step further with it and using it to drive some maintenance activity and then justifying it via energy savings.
So I guess I have one last question, sorry. Dean, you're not going to have accurate data to compare to for a year, right? I mean, if the energy commissioning is just finishing, right, our efficiency,
Correct.
They're saying it takes a full heating and cooling cycle to understand the savings that we should already be realizing. So if they were monitoring this for efficiency, they'd be comparing against really old data. It would be.
No matter what, it's going to look good.
Right. So I'm just wondering if maybe this is a topic, this advanced monitoring, since you are going to have all of this, if this isn't something we should consider a year from now, if some of that data, when Siemens comes out for their quarterlies, is saying, hey, there are still issues, and Dean's team says, hey, guys, we could really use this. But I don't think at this point, in my opinion, you're going to get much benefit out of the advanced monitoring, unless there's some other services included that I'm misreading.
No, I think that's a pretty good sum, and that's where I was kind of going with it. Brett, you know, we did ask him to give us a little bit more robust, and that's what this is. You know, he wasn't, I don't want to say overselling anything, but, you know,
I asked for it, so.
yeah, so that's, you got it. But no, that's exactly my take of it. I think we should go with the base and, you know, keep our eye on it, see what's going on, see some savings there, and address it. The only thing is, I know this is a 3-year, let's just say we wanted to do it next year. Are we able to adjust the contract with you guys? And if the board wanted to do that, you wouldn't have a problem with that, I would assume, Brett?
Not at all. Yeah, that
Okay.
works. We can adjust it at any time.
All right.
I have one last question, I guess for Rachel. There are some firewall requirements and connectivity requirements here. Did you have a chance to review those at all? Is there any issues with all this stuff they list here? Because this is Greek to me. I don't know what all this stuff means.
You'd have to dig deep.
They probably won't need it if I'm not monitoring.
I haven't had a
Well,
chance
when-
to review
if
it
they
yet,
do
but I
monitoring,
certainly
let's
can.
address this now, then,
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
I haven't had a chance to review it, but I certainly can.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure we use Siemens in some of our other buildings, so I don't foresee any issues.
We use Siemens for this type of
We
reporting?
we use Siemens at intermediate school, he's just advancing the system. So they're already in our ecosystem.
Yeah, and
As far as the controls here.
The controls and the software we're using now, he's going to upgrade the software, including in this base. But it's the Siemens protocol.
So this really isn't just for one building, it's for.
No, this
more
is
than-
just for one building.
Okay.
This is just the intermediate school.
Yep, and the base agreement doesn't include the heavier firewall restrictions and all that language. We do currently have a secure remote connection for some of our data backups that we like to provide on a monthly basis. So if there's any other additional info you guys need from me, I'm more than happy to get you. We use this, you know, it's GSA certified, it's DoD security certified. We use it at some, you know, pretty heavy installations in Connecticut and nationally. And we haven't had a problem. So if there's anything you need from me, I'm more than happy to get you more info on it.
Thank you.
Okay?
So what's your recommendation?
My recommendation is to go with the base.
Immediately, or do we wait for more complete data?
No, I
for
think
the
we have,
retro commissioning?
we should go immediately, because they do their preventive maintenance again, which the contract, we're a little slow on the contract. This should have been out in front. But while the retro commission was going on and everything else, we didn't. So we really need to approve this so we can continue with the preventive maintenance and they can keep up the service that they're doing for us now. Because right now, we are not in a contract with them.
Would the base bid contract also be dated for January 1st, or?
We'd like to do July, but I can ask. I have to see how much time we've spent. If we've been out for preventative maintenance visits, and I think we may have been, we'd like to see it July 1, just because we're not missing anything on either end, right? So you guys still got the service. We just did it off of contract. But I will double check and I will let Dean know. But I think we have been out twice so far.
God, you've been out and we haven't paid you. You took it as you were assuming we were going to get. Dean, that's
Yeah.
accurate. We haven't paid for that?
That's absolutely
Oh,
right.
yeah. If
Yeah.
we
Is any
haven't,
of that stuff on the equipment that was provided under the agreement?
No, his preventive maintenance?
No, not from the retro commissioning. All that equipment put it in, is any of that preventive maintenance that they're talking about on stuff that they put in during the retro commissioning project?
I don't think so, but I'd have to pull the work logs and see what we're touching. Usually, so we have.
Everything they put in with the retro commissioning project has a 30-month
Yeah,
warranty.
no, the retro commissioning, so I'm sorry, I get what you're saying now. The preventive maintenance that they came out and did and the reports that I have been on existing equipment, not on the new retro commission equipment.
Okay.
but this maintenance includes maintaining the new equipment as well when it's going to,
Everything in the building, yep.
great, thank you.
And I just had one last question. There was a limit to the number of devices or something. It said 100. I'm sorry, I can't find my highlighted piece.
Yeah, so that would just be on the additional ad with the monitoring. If it doesn't sound like you guys are moving forward with it, everything in the building is covered under the contract. We don't specify, the specific equipment. And we do move towards the more robust package, I think you guys only have 113. So we just use that as kind of a placeholder. It's a square number placeholder that comes out of our kind of estimating equipment tool.
Okay, budget question. So if we want to move forward with this, and Donna and Michael, so we would have to pay immediately for the remainder of this year, January to June. And then the next, is it basically prorated, or is it going to go from January 1 to December 30? It's going to end in July, and then the new period will be July 1 through June 30th?
Yeah, we'd like to keep it on that cycle if possible. It'd be July 1 to June 30th. And as we mentioned, we did provide, I think, 2 other visits and some of the backups while we were there. So we were providing services on this contract. Obviously at no cost. We were just carrying the cost, assuming it would move forward.
You're chomping at the bit, what?
Not just that, they've been doing this. They've continued to do and fulfill the contract, even though it wasn't signed yet.
Because it's a renewal. This is what you guys were doing, the previous 5 or 6 years.
Okay, so the new proposal is going to start in January, but we're still going to pay for the whole year. So really, we got to pay for 2 years in one budget period. Is that correct? Because the next one starts July 1. I'm assuming you want it paid before the contract period starts?
We're flexible. So if it's an issue, we'd love to get, I'd love to keep the contract periods on the contract from July 1 of last year to June 30th of 26. And then we can wait until it rolls into the new budget period, middle of July. It's a very common thing we do for state and higher ed. And we get a PO then, an invoice against it then. We're flexible, however it makes sense for.
So you guys good? You guys understand all this, okay? All right. Anybody else have any other questions? No? Something you really would like to go with? Yeah, it'd be definitely beneficial for you in the buildings?
Again, I think the base is a necessity.
Okay, and the base is the data that we don't have in front of us?
Exactly.
Okay. And based upon the numbers that Dean had provided, would I hear a motion to move this to the full board for approval?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, motion passes. We'll move this to the full board based upon the base package, which you will provide information for in the packet.
Yep.
Prior to the meeting, so we can review, and we'll go from there.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Have a great night.
You too.
Okay. Dean, I guess we'll move on to number 3, the projects update.
Okay, this was included, so if you had a chance to take a look at it, if you have any questions on what's moving forward with the projects that we're involved with. I guess a few points to add. I talked about it last time. During Christmas break, we are planning to get our TTA program out of the old East School and into Fast Academy. Construction of what we did over there is pretty much complete. I'm waiting to bring some stoves and appliances over there, but I'm going to wait until the kids are gone because they're still utilizing it. So we were going to do it earlier, but we decided to wait so they can continue utilizing it at the old school, and we'll bring everything over during Christmas break. The other thing we're doing is bringing more moving of central office supplies, files, and everything else that's at Midgeon Avenue. We're going to be doing some moving and shredding and other projects there that aren't really on here, but those are things that we're working on.
Dean, how close are we to being out of Midgeon? And last time we spoke about it, you were having some conversations with the city about an appropriate turnover date and condition. Where did we end up with on that?
Well, we're in better shape than we were. I know that's not a very good answer, but there's still a lot of stuff to get out of there. And I did talk to my counterpart over at the city. They have not sold it. I heard rumors that it was sold. He told me it's not sold as of now. So we had a date of January 1st that we would kind of hand it over to them. We're hoping to still meet that with Christmas coming up, but we're still going to have some furniture and stuff like in there. And he made a good point of saying, well, you know, at that point, it's city furniture. Maybe we'll put it out to other departments like we did some of the stuff in the high school here. And at that point, we'll figure out what to do. You know, it's not like it's, you know, there's a few nice pieces in there, but it's mostly filing cabinets and chairs and desks and things of that nature. So,
I mean, the carry costs for us to keep the building is really any potential repair that would happen and the utilities, right?
yeah, pretty much utilities. And, you know, we're monitoring that. We got the heat down to 50. Unless somebody goes in there, we'll turn it up a little bit. You know, we don't want to freeze anything out. I know internet service will be off December 31st, internet service will be off. So we'll lose Wi-Fi, which isn't a big deal right now. Cameras will still be active because that is over. No, cameras won't be active. Security system will be because it's over. Internal. But there's really nothing in there right now.
Just to clarify, the cameras will be working in the building. You just have to go there to look at them. And then, Dean, I would just say, if you think there's more, I mean, there's not that much heat in that building if you're keeping it at 50. So if you think that there's more value in things that you're going to leave behind that you might want, I wouldn't have a problem with extending the date until January 31st. I don't think it's that much of a lift, but if you have nothing in there you want, obviously, let's hand it to the city, but I'd defer to you on that.
Yeah, every day we're taking a chunk out of it. You know, I had one department go over there and told us what we can get rid of, so that's taking a big chunk out and another chunk out, and you know, let you know next time we talk.
Thank you.
So Donna spoke to the Historical Society, and they want a few things.
Yes, they've tagged a few things. They themselves are kind of sparse on space at their facility, and I think they're doing an addition. So, but there are some items that they did put tags on. I could see if those were them.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right, any other questions on projects or any other information you would like? Anyone? Going once? Armin, nothing? All right, we'll move on. You ready, Rachel? All right, technology, social media update.
All right, so I included the social media update in the packet, and the most views goes to the Torrington Middle School, actually for our school closure for the snow day, which I know seems a little funny, but I think it really shows how important it is that we broadcast this message in so many different ways, so that it does reach our families just in case they happen to miss another way. And I, have to give credit to these social media reps, because as soon as I posted the district one out through Parent Square, before I even got to our district Facebook page, they were already reposting it. So just wanted to give a little thank you to them for their close attention and for, being able to spread the message on their own platforms. Any questions? Okay.
Carry on.
So for the tech update, not a whole lot to report. We did have that kind of vacation break in the middle there, but I would like to say that I did have a technician position open. We were able to fill that position. His name is Mason, and he is wonderful. He's coming to us with some cybersecurity background that he got while he was in the United States Air Force. So really looking forward to bringing him on board. He'll be officially on board for the start of the new school year. So yeah, that's my little update about the department. Any questions on that?
Is that calendar year or school year?
Calendar,
Okay.
yes.
No question, but a comment. The latest cybersecurity update that you sent out, I think that was this week maybe. I hope everyone sees that. It was very interesting about malware and how it gets into things.
I appreciate that, and I actually, thank you for bringing that up, because I did get a little message from Jeff down there saying that he saw one of our phishing tests, and as well as Sue DePretis actually forwarded one to me saying, this doesn't look right. So it's making people, it's doing its purpose, right? It's making people more aware and more hesitant to just click on anything in that comes across their email inbox. So I'll hopefully have more to report on that next month, like we had planned, about, how many people actually clicked on that sort of thing, and how well the training's going.
Rachel, are we going to have mandatory training? Because a part of your security awareness and cybersecurity usually requires that you have training sessions. So some people in the space can use in your case, Arctic Wolf type stuff. You can use that as the train. You can keep track of who's completed it, who hasn't. Do we have a plan in place to it just helps me. That education piece is so important in this space, just to help them identify what they shouldn't click on.
I have asked that staff do the training. I sent out an email, explaining that it really is just a short, 3-minute video most of the time, just so that, they stay refreshed on different things. Mandatory, I would like it to be mandatory for sure, but we can cross that bridge.
Maybe when we get the data, we can see what the compliance looks like.
Absolutely.
Okay, any other questions? Patrick, nothing? All right. And I guess that's kind of a prelude to number 3, isn't it? Cybersecurity and data and.
Yes. So this is actually one of the programs that I am looking into as part of the cybersecurity grant. So we still have a little bit of that money to spend. This is one of the projects that I wanted to put on there. So this is for our backups. So currently the district uses a company called Rubric, which is, our time with them is about to expire. And so looking into something a little bit different, this particular vendor is part of what's called NASPO, which is a procurement agency that, goes out and we have our own state procurement officer in Connecticut. They go out and get the lowest bidder and then provide us with these options. So with that being said, this particular company, Datto, which I included a little bit of informational packets on, it comes as a managed service. So while it is like a separate line item on this quote here, they don't give out this appliance without the managed service. So if one of the backups were to fail, Datto would remediate it. And then if there was any sort of catastrophe where a server happened to go down or something like that and needed to be restored, they would help with that process, which is very nice. So it's a 3-year term, and because they are part of the NASPO procurement, you'll see on here the appliance, so like the actual hardware that would go in our closet is discounted. So we don't have to pay that appliance price because they are part of that NASPO procurement. Again, this would be part of the cybersecurity grant money. But as you can see, The total is about 39,000, which I would like to point out, our renewal for our current vendor is about 60. So this would be saving us, about $20,000 on another 3-year commitment with our current backup vendor. Are there any questions?
Jeff, we'll start with you, I'm sure.
I've got a couple. So currently this is being paid for out of GB?
Well,
The existing vendor, are we paying for that 60 out of GB?
I believe so. So it was bought upfront 3 years ago, so that was before my time.
Okay. So this would be paid for this isn't all upfront, or are they collecting it?
This would be all upfront for 3 years, but it's not out of GB, it'd be out of the grant.
The state one where they reimburse us?
Right.
Okay, the couple other questions. This is the one you like, and have you guys looked at the Veeam and all the other ones?
Yeah, I went through a few different demos, but I really did like this one and the services that they provide.
Yeah, Data's a good piece of software. It's an 8 terabyte appliance. Is this the appliance that can stand up the virtuals? So if you have a loss of your primary server, much lower performance, but it can stand up the virtuals that we need?
Yeah, so currently we're only using about 6 terabytes. So it still gives us a little bit of room to grow. We could always go bigger, but I was trying to keep costs relatively low.
If you're at 75% of the space, right, that's only one, it does dedupe and everything, but that's only 1 or maybe 2 copies. But Data works as a continuous, it rolls the backups forward.
Right.
But I might look at the larger appliance, especially if it's being grant funded, we're getting
Yeah.
reimbursed. I believe they have a 10 or a 12 is the next step up.
Most likely. I could absolutely look into that. Like I said, I was just trying to keep costs low.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and it gave us still a little bit of room to grow. I didn't want to limit us too much. But I mean, the appliance we have right now is way bigger than we need. So did want to scale it back a little bit.
And then what are they holding in the cloud? What's the duration of time? This is the appliance version, but it simultaneously backs up to the appliance and sends a copy of the cloud usually.
1-year retention, it does have it on here.
For the data itself, but what about the actual virtuals? Usually you have Datto can do it 2 ways. They can grab just the data or they can grab the whole virtuals. I'm guessing you're just backing up the VMware sessions?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's typical, that's what we do now, so.
Last question, I think, is what about DR testing? So your most cybersecurity insurance requires you to execute a disaster recovery test. Is that included in the total communications? Will they spin it up, in the sandbox for you on the appliance?
Yeah, and I believe that's part of the managed service, and I think it even mentions it in the packet.
It mentions that it's ready for disaster recovery. I may have missed it, but it talks about it. You mentioned that they will help with it, but generally the managed service provider in that case would spin it up and.
It does say
It would be
yearly disaster recovery test.
Okay.
So they do it yearly.
Yeah, on your equipment though.
Yes.
They can do it in the cloud, but if you're generally going to recover to the appliance that's in the building. The cloud's great in the event we lose, a flood or something at the high school when you lose the equipment. But the local one's the one you're most likely to hit, more
Right.
often than not.
That's true. I can clarify with them.
Yeah, just my couple happen to be in the space, that's all.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
I just have one quick question. So you said the appliance we have now with that other company is a much larger capacity.
Yes.
And
I believe 30
This one is 8
terabyte.
terabytes, and Jeff would like to recommends going to the next size
10 to
up.
12, yeah.
10 or 12. So the one we have now that's at $60,000 a year, how many terabytes is that?
That is at 30.
So that's 30.
So definitely overkill for what we're using it for. And also it doesn't come with that managed service. So if a backup fails or something like that, unless somebody's logging in and checking these things, it has a potential to go missed.
Do they offer a managed service?
Potentially, but for money.
Yeah, well, I'm just curious if you cut their storage in half and add the managed services, is it comparable? Is it?
I could certainly ask.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're not really comparing apples to apples when we say this one's 60, this one's 30, and we're having all these savings, because we're not really comparing apples to apples.
Understood.
But I don't know, I'll leave this up to you two, because you're two techno-weenies, so.
It won't cut in half, but it certainly would be, I guess the real question is, do you like the product you're using now? And yes, when you have a managed service provider monitoring the backups, that is ideal, right? Hopefully
Agreed.
somebody reviews them in-house weekly as well, or gets the notifications, and it's a part of their function to review them as well.
Right.
Because you have that capability, but yes, if you have a stretched staff that's thin, and there are days when, the old proverbial saying, things hit the fan, those things can be missed if it's being done internally, so you have my support on that. It would be curious for comparison purposes how much it is, but it's not going to be cheaper, Glenn.
No, I'm not saying that, but if we're making a comparison, let's
Yeah.
make a fair comparison.
I can certainly reach out to them and see what they have to offer.
But
I
that
don't
is a
have any
very good
problem with
product.
that. Yeah, I've heard very good things about it. And, I think I also looked into their disaster recovery. I don't want to use the word plan, but basically it would be like a written disaster recovery plan. That was one of the other projects that I had on the cyber security grant list. And I think that they could provide that as well.
Okay.
You
So,
can make one too if you need to. I mean, there's a lot of the templates available in the other schools. Actually, some of them post them.
Yeah, I think it would pair nicely. If they already have, this system in place plus that plan.
Do
So
they
that
charge
was.
for it?
What's that?
Are they gonna charge us for that, or they just give it to you as a part of the?
No, it would be a separate charge, yeah. But it was just one of the things that I had looked into when trying to figure out what security projects that I wanted to apply for.
I don't know what's left in the grant, but I think if you need those things to be compliant, bring us that entire packet. What is it that you need to be successful? Our job is to help you be successful, right? So if you need those things and you have a grant to do it, I don't know what's left in it. And, the more you do it once, you may get a better deal with Datto and
Yeah.
through the state contract. So I would encourage that, hey, if we need these things to be compliant, this is important. I mean, I know most of our stuff's in the cloud, but there is still a good chunk that's hosted locally.
Right. And, I think that, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. I think that once we nail down what we're going to do with this, then we could see what's left for grant money, and then make that decision from there. Because if we need to bump up this appliance a little bit, it might eat up what we have left. So it might be our last cybersecurity project. For this grant. I want to make that clear.
Understood.
then if it's 3 years, we need to
And yeah,
internally prepare, if you do the round.
Well, right.
If there is no grant at the end of 3 years, we got to figure out how to pay for this thing.
so technically I had already prepared about 60 grand for the one we have that's about to be up. So, essentially it would save us from spending 60 grand this year and allow us to budget for around 40 grand.
Oh, so you'll have
3
an
years.
extra 60,000 in your bucket because we're going to get
Trying to
this
save
covered.
that money,
Yeah, okay, all right.
Put it all together.
Rachel's
That's
getting
right.
some nice big monitors in an office now. Okay, I don't have any other questions. Anybody have any questions?
So would you like to see what Rubric has to offer? Or do you want me to see what Rubric has to offer and then make a decision based on?
No, I would like to hear a motion to move this to the full board for approval with that presentation showing a comparison between your existing vendor and the new vendor
Okay,
at apples to apples product/services.
absolutely.
Sure, I'll second that.
Yes. I hear a motion?
Oh, I thought you motioned, yeah.
So moved.
second it.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Anybody opposed? All right.
Thank you
Motion
very much.
passes. We'll move that to the full board for approval based upon what we discussed. Any other questions? All right, so we'll go right on to topics for future meetings. BMS is pretty much all set. We're moving that to the full board. We'll get a roof update. Hopefully, we'll know something from the city at that point. We'll keep your projects update. We'll keep, so facilities, Dean, just a roof update and projects.
Got it.
All right, or is there anything else you want to put on there? No? And for Rachel, I guess we'll just keep number 1 and 2 unless you see something else fit? Unless this gets rejected at the full board, you have to put something.
Yeah, and I think that should be good, because I can give my, the fishing training update in the tech update.
Okay.
And then if we can add somewhere, like we talked about halfway through the year, getting an idea on where how the insurance policy and your device expenditures was. I don't think that's next month, but maybe the one after.
Sure,
Kind of halfway through, you don't have to go crazy, Rachel. just
February?
Yeah, February.
absolutely.
So mental note in Jeff's memory vault there to remind us at the end of the next meeting to add that to February. So just 2 items and 2 items for each of you for next meeting. Anybody else want to add anything else? All right, comments for the good of the order, Mr. Kisco. We'll start with you. Can't hear you. Very good, that's all. I don't know about that. I was off my game last meeting. Armin? No? Thanks, Patrick, Jeff? There you go. Good meeting. Good. Mr. Wilson? Good meeting. Rachel? Good meeting, thank you. Dean?
Great meeting.
Christina? And of course, the best for last over there, the quiet mouse. Nothing? Josh? Great job on the audio. I like the adjustment. We actually figured that out.
Getting there.
Yeah. All right. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Aye. Meeting is ended.
Ready, Josh? All right, like to call to order this December 10th Budget Committee meeting for the Torrington Board of Education at 6:34 PM. Start with a roll call. Is everybody here minus Mr. Minicha and now with Ms. Schimmels? And Dean and them are gone, so. I need to get a motion for an approval of the agenda unless somebody would like to add something.
So moved?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Moving right along. Approval of last month's meeting minutes.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have anybody interested in public participation before I read the spiel? Josh, anybody? I'm crushing your record. All right, moving on.
Can we acknowledge Sandy on the?
Oh, hi
screen
Sandy, I
there, too?
didn't see up there, I'm sorry. All right, next up, monthly financials. I guess that's over to you, Mrs. Labby.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Everybody received the packet for the monthly financials for November. And before I jump into a few things, I just wanted to point out an answer to last month's question. We had a question from Mr. Putnam, and it was about the parasecurity. He wanted to know, there was a transaction there, but it was in a line item that we had deleted because that position was being paid out of a grant. And indeed, one last transaction had happened, but it has been reclassed to the appropriate line item. So I just wanted to give everybody a heads up there. And with that, I can jump in. I have just a few updates to go through as far as what stood out in our monthly financials this month. So if anyone wants to just turn to page 8 of the packet, it's line code 112.02, and we had a para that's listed as Bristol Tech, and that para has been being billed to a para line item, and we need to reclass it to that actual line item. And just for a little background, we do have a para that goes to Bristol Tech for a half a day. As part of school choice, we have to offer the academic portion, which they do not. So they go there half a day, and then they come to us for a half a day. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. Still on page 8, line item 5112.36. We had an encumbrance in our salary line, which we never do. It'd be nice if we could encumber it, but that was, again, it was for Trinity Health, and it was for a miscellaneous athletic trainer, I believe. So we were going to update that and fix that as well. Moving on to page 9, 5121, the tutors, we are running over there. The budget was, kind of came in low, or we planned it lower than we probably might have forecasted. So next year, we want to look at that line item. On page 9 as well, 5130.3, we have OT clerical. It is trending high, and we have asked all the sites to ask for permission for certain circumstances where that's warranted, just so that we can land in the black on that line item. Moving on to line 10, or not line 10, page 10. Let me know if I'm going too fast. Is everybody okay? Sandy, you okay? Okay, so page 10, 5210.05, that is the para stipend. And this is actually a grant that we had received to help offset some of the health insurance for paras. The state had awarded it, and so we really needed to set that up in a liability account, and so we reclassed that one transaction that hit there. But that's actually a very nice offering. Page 12, line item 5530.05, license and warranties are over about 22%. But we are fortunate because we have funding and communications and some other tech lines that can absorb it. And we actually have more than what's gone over. And everything has been encumbered, so we should be okay. Page 13, line code 5610.04. Cleaning supplies are underspent, and we've had some savings in other areas, and we could probably look at budget line transfers. I'm thinking in February to see where all the other lines end up. Maybe electricity might need a little help, so we might be able to take from that line item if we continue to not need to consume it. And those are my little updates as far as the budget goes. We are in good shape as far as where we are in the fiscal year and where we are in our budget. I didn't know if anyone had any questions.
Anybody on the board have any questions? Sandy, anybody else have anything questions?
We leave them up to you, Jeffrey.
I've got a few for you, Donna.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
You answered a good chunk of them. On page 9, the 5120.02 substitutes clerical. This is probably in line with your OT count from earlier, but that's just seemed like it was a lot of substitutes if we're also paying overtime. What was it's just seemed strange, not strange, but it caught my attention.
Yeah, so we have had some secretaries that, positions that weren't filled, so we had to have substitutes in them. So you'll see an offset because some of the line that they had the salary in will probably be underspent, whereas this is overspent.
Okay. And let's see, the other one was, I had not seen run high before, was 512003 on the same page. Nurse substitutes, I went back and looked, I hadn't seen that one run high in a while, I wasn't sure if that was expected.
Yes, again, we've had a couple vacancies that
Okay.
we're trying to accommodate.
All right, next is 512080. Dean knows where I'm gonna ask on this one. The OT for custodial we stayed pretty good earlier in the year and then late last year, but we're heading into the overage zone, at least by percentage.
What is it, 51?
5120 it might be 30.
5130.80.
Yeah, it's OT for custodial.
Yes, we're at like 43%.
We're not, it's just a little bit over, but do we anticipate it? Is that some of that related, Dean, to the middle school opening and moving stuff at the?
Yeah, yes, it is.
Okay.
And also our sports programs are back to active. So we started that up again, especially in the building. Basketball started earlier and track and all that, so we're here on weekends and nights.
Are we seeing an uptick in building usage or building rentals at all? I know, I saw the revenue had been lower, but that doesn't mean that your guys aren't being called in for things that we don't charge.
No, actually, sorry about that. We have, you're not gonna quite see it yet, but you will. We have a couple other, because we have the intermediate school now, middle school gym, intermediate school gym, plus this middle school and high school gym, we were able to have a group up at the intermediate school. And we're also gonna be using, or we are using, Fast Academy gym. People are coming and renting that, along with Southwest.
Yeah, okay.
So we should see some increase there, as far as usage, definitely.
Okay. And Don, I think we used some of that revenue to offset, correct?
Correct. And we are starting to collect that, so that's nice.
Excellent. Next is on page 10, 521008. The grant funded health and life, I knew it, the employee health and life contributions, but the grant, is this just positions that are hanging out in Alliance and then, or another grant-funded program, and that program is then reimbursing us for those credits? I
Correct.
just didn't see any transactions, so.
Correct. That is from the Alliance, and that is to offset some of the health insurance. We're allowed to use some of that funding from the Alliance to benefit us.
It would make sense, I mean, that's where the employee is
Yes.
based out of. And page 11, 5342 and 5350, it's para and TE services. I wasn't sure if it was a huge chunk for a single month. I wasn't sure what those come from on page 11.
Yeah, they're able to fill the vacancies, so we have that fill rate up, so that's a nice thing. So that's where you're seeing a little uptick in that.
Well, that was the substitutes, though.
Yes, so the substitutes are covering positions that are not there, so that would be them fulfilling it.
Okay, I just, with the attendance being higher and having less fills to have to make, I was kind of expecting the opposite.
Yeah, we have a lot of, well, not a lot, but we have some long-term folks that are out for long-term care and things.
And the last one is, you touched on it, page 13 for electricity. I see it's still, it's heading towards 1.5 million plus.
Yes, we will, like I said, we'll look in February at looking at some budget line transfers to see if we can offset that, but we do have our food services, which we're very thankful for, and Superintendent Wilson had come up with that wonderful idea to be able to offset it and charge use and occupancy for that department. So,
Yeah, it's a big, we'll just have to figure out what's the appropriate amount as our next topic becomes the budget time. We'll have to kind of come up with a good figure for that one, because this is gonna be a pretty sizable hit outside of the budget.
yep, we're keeping an eye on it.
Awesome, thank you, Donna. Anybody else have any questions for Donna on the budget?
From the electricity point of view, like is it one particular building? Is it the high school, new school transition? Do we know where's the big spike coming from?
We're still having a little bit of an uptick from the middle school because of the construction. I think That's waning down, though.
Okay.
And the other piece is we have physically more buildings now. So we're paying utilities at just more buildings. It's not a huge, I mean, it's not huge, but some of that is being contributed by just more physical buildings.
And the price of electricity isn't helping.
I think I think we have a contract with the electrical supplier, don't we? We have a long-term contract.
I believe the city
We
does.
do, but it doesn't, I think there's still a rate increase that goes along with it. It's just not at that level because we bought in at such a good number.
Awesome.
So it's still gone up quite a bit.
And we won't have Midgeon much longer, so that'll offset a little bit. So,
Yeah, I'm not sure what that one was, but it's not much, we're not burning much
Pretty
over
low.
there.
no problem. All right, anything else, nothing else on the budget? We'll move, Donna, to the timeline, or Superintendent Wilson, whoever wants to take that one. You guys have posted it once before, and
Yeah.
just a couple little updates.
Yeah, I could give you a quick update as well. We hit the ground running now. We have the new budget templates out, and we have presentations that are all scheduled for next week with the sites and the departments. So we're starting that first journey with the budget process, and we'll report back to tell you how it's going.
Great. Anybody have any questions on the timeline? Great, we look forward to receiving that. And next up is the non-lapsing reserve fund. That's that 2% carry, correct?
Yes, we were able to, the audit was closed, so the numbers are final. And there is a fund that was created, an 331 fund. And in it, we do have our 2%, which equates to $1,574,453.96 that we have in that fund. So I just wanted to let everybody know that, again, the audit is closed, there were no findings, and we do have that money set aside.
And congratulations again on the no findings. That's, anybody in that world knows that's a difficult one to attain, so nicely done.
Thank you, we have a great team.
All right, any questions on the reserve fund? All right, hearing none. Topics for future meetings. Have the usuals, Donna. We'll keep track of those things that you're watching. And we'll have getting close to our budget season, as you pointed out. And other than that, anybody else have any topics for future meetings? No? All right. All right, topics done. Comments for good of the order. We'll start we'll start with Sandy, Miss Mangan up on the top. Anything, Sandy?
Thanks. I do have a comment. The day before Thanksgiving, Superintendent Wilson okayed a dress down day for the staff to benefit Friendly Hands and Fish. TEA had sponsored it, and I'm proud to announce that we collected $1,170. And I delivered checks to Friendly Hands and Fish today in the amount of $585 each, which they were very grateful for and very appreciative of the staff of Torrington Public Schools making those donations.
Thank you to all the staff and everybody. That's a great donation in a time of great need. So thank you. Marissa, over to you. Ms. Schimmels? Thanks, Dean. Thanks, Donna.
Thank you, everybody, great meeting.
Superintendent Wilson.
Great meeting. Good meeting, Jeff.
Mr. Kisco? All right, great. As far as the budget committee, we'll send off everybody with have a happy holidays. We don't meet again until after the first of the year. Thank you very much and have a great night. And I need a motion for adjournment of the meeting. Anybody?
So moved.